I think you will appreciate that there are still protests going on. Folks, I think every single one of you will still appreciate that there are currently still protests going on in Washington, D.C., that members of Congress are attending, they are speaking at, they are rallying with folks local to D.C. One of the disadvantages here is that it is currently very cold outside, and also it's not summertime, so a lot of youth are kind of wrapped up in school, in college, etc. And frankly, a lot of working class people don't have the money to just go to Washington, D.C. to participate. So attendance for these are not as high as they might otherwise be. However, they're still pretty good. I've been very pleasantly surprised with the success that Indivisible has had turning out protesters. Very knifey duck, thank you for gifting a sub to Garden Variety Cat Lady. Let's go! Now, we're gonna take a look. There were actually two different protests today. One was outside of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, and the other was outside of the Social Security Administration building. And the advantages we have here are that people know what both of those things are, as opposed to U.S. aid, right? People know what Social Security is. People know what the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau does. It's literally gotten consumers back billions of dollars over the course of its existence. So, like, both of these organizations, very well known, and, members of Congress didn't turn up to play. Let's take a look at what went on here.
Let us work! Let us work! Let us work!
A lot of these people attending these are union members.
Let us work! Let us work! Let us work! Let us work!
Here, let's skip ahead into it a little bit.
Not Elizabeth Warren. I'm Ezra Levin. I'm from Indivisible. Thank you. So I want to praise our incredible partners in this. Progressive Change Institute, we just heard from Marie. Give it up. We got Move On, Americans for Financial Reform, but especially CFPB, Union, NTEU, 335.
A lot of union folk turning up for these.
These are the workers who are protecting us from the big banks, from the financial scammers. Give them some love. Let's hear it. Give them some love. I got to brag a little bit. Because last week, when Elon Musk started raiding the Treasury, I think I hear.
And folks, you can understand, right? Like, it's been 1 week of this. And our system is almost bursting. And if it does break, like, we are
me,
toast.
BWA, and my Johnson.
Lady Ray Cloud, thank you for the $10 dono. I really appreciate that.
Your senator coming soon. She's coming up soon. We're going to get to her. We'll get to you. Okay. Last week, when Elon Musk started raiding the Treasury, I got to say, there was a little bit of a sluggish response from some of our congressional allies. I didn't love to see it. We had then 50,000 people on a call, and what we were asking folks to do was go around to your own senators' offices where you live, and tell them, stop Elon Musk. And that one little call, within 24 hours, there were 300 events all over the country in every single state, save Mississippi. Tupelo, Mississippi, Indivisible, I'll get in touch with you. Every single state, just about, was calling on their senators. Then on Tuesday, who here was at the Treasury building on Tuesday? We had thousands of people calling on senators to shut it down. Shut it down. Shut it down. Shut it down.
Because, guys, one of the things we need to talk about is that these events don't just, like, appear out of the ether. We need to make them. Like, this is not a situation where you guys can just wait and somebody else will do it and we'll be fine. People will protest, whatever. No, we need to actually make it. These protests are only as successful when we all do our part. It's not enough to be oh, well, not enough people went. Well, then let's figure out a way to get more people to go. Let's figure out a way to make people more aware. Okay? Let's figure out a way to turn people out and make them care. The local media is not covering it. Get them these videos. Clip these protests for them. Make it as easy as possible for them to actually throw some of this on the evening news.
That was on Tuesday. On Wednesday, you know what our Senate Democratic colleagues did? They shut it down. They shut it down. They listened to you. They used up all their time that they could to slow down the Senate and fight back against Russell Vote, that human embodiment of Project 2025. We're reaching the boo part of this. I'm glad. We're getting there. So he got through. He is now trying to shut down the CFPB. That's what he's trying to do. How did he get into office? I'm going to name a few names. Senator Susan Collins of Maine. Senator Tom Tillis of North Carolina. Senator Dan Sullivan of Alaska. Senator John Usted of Ohio. Senator Joni Ernst from Iowa. You know what all those folks share in common? At least two things. One, they all voted for Russell Vote. Two, they're all up for re-election next year. Trump and Musk want you to feel powerless. Are you powerless? Trump and Musk want congressional Democrats to feel powerless. Are they powerless? Okay.
Dragonfly, you might be able to donate to Indivisible. They are helping to coordinate these protests.
Okay, but let's get specific. If you've been to an Indivisible, you know, look, I love a good chant, but we're not just here to chant. We're going to actually do some organizing together, right? We're going to actually make impact in real time.
Wait, I don't know what the point is if people didn't care enough to vote in the first place. I'm powerless because the country threw me away. You got to make them care. That is politics. Politics is making people care. That's the entire goal. That's the entire game, baby. That's the entire meat and potatoes of it. Getting people to give a shit. And people have more power than they think. You know? If you've ever played a video game in front of someone and been oh yeah, man, it has X, Y, Z, blah, blah, blah. And they're wow, that's really cool. I want to play it too. That's politics. You're making someone care. Well, that's true, Storm. They might not care that you specifically are in danger. That is one of the unfortunate parts of playing politics. People often don't care about individual other people, which is not great. But they do care about wide-ranging policies that'll fuck them up too.
Time together as a group. So here's what I'm going to say. We are headed into a showdown with congressional Republicans. And you know what they're doing right now? They are asking for Democratic votes to give money to Trump and Musk to continue to raid our government. Should Democrats give them those votes? That's right, but what should they do? Here's what I'm going to say. We should be asking them, withhold your vote. Withhold your vote. Withhold your vote. Withhold your vote.
Withhold your vote. Withhold your vote. Withhold your vote.
Okay, wait, why are you chanting at me? I'm not a senator. I'm not a representative. What can I do? Wait, what's that? Oh, wait, I'm just hearing that we have got members of Congress here with us today.
And yeah, there was no realistic way that they could have stopped Russell Vote. like Republicans had the vote, but the entire point of the game right now is to slow things down, to withhold their votes, to utilize that congressional power, to get wrapped up in procedure and delay until Republicans are wrapped up in an entire web of procedure and rules and points of order. You know, make everything as excruciating as possible for these Republicans. It should become like a game for Democrats. They should have like point tallies in their different offices for it.
We've got a lot of members of Congress. We've got more than 15 members of Congress. So here, even for my favorite members of Congress, this is an organizing moment. And it is our responsibility in organizing moments to put the questions even to our best friends in the Senate.
Oh, cute dark arts. You're an NSFW artist? That's cool. Much respect. Oh, did the microphone die? There we go.
Okay. I don't want to leave Senator Warren here standing too much longer. Whew. Okay, so here's my ask. Senator Warren, as you come up and speak to us and inspire us, can you commit to withholding your vote until this constitutional crisis is over?
Oh, that's a cute coat. Look at her go.
I am so glad to be here with you today.
Okay, full disclosure, I have watched her speech and it's kind of fire, I'm not gonna lie. Not gonna lie.
Senator and rep with calls but feels useless sometimes.
Oh, Zia Spots, never feel like it's worthless, okay? Currently, Congress, for like the last several days, like every single, like the congressional switchboard has been completely overwhelmed. And like folks have been getting like, oh man, like the voicemail hung up on me. They set it up so that it would hang up. And that's not actually the case. The congressional switchboard has just been overwhelmed with the volume of calls. Okay? It is a good use of your time to call and pressure Republicans, especially. You don't have to tell them you're a lefty communist. You don't have to tell them you're a Democrat. All you got to say is that you are a concerned citizen who loves the Constitution and you are deeply concerned about the constitutional crisis unfolding right now. And like ultimately, that is worth your time. Do it.
My name is Elizabeth Warren, and I am here with you to fight for our Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. The CFPB is the cop on the beat.
Not the best framing,
cop
but
is the one that caught the crooks and so far has made them give back $21 billion. That cop is the one that put that $21 billion right back into the hands of the American people who got cheated.
hell yeah.
That cop is the one who has worked day by day to get your money back when some slime ball decided they could cheat you and there wouldn't be anything you can do about it. Now,
Yeah, look, if you're a Zoomer and you have no idea what the CFPB does, imagine that they are CoffeeZilla and they expose scams and then get you your money back. That's the CFPB, except it's a government organization and not a YouTuber.
the CFPB is the little agency that has fought for us, and we are here today to fight for the CFPB. Let's give a huge cheer for the CFPB. Donald Trump ran his campaign on lowering costs for working families. Yeah, now he and his co-president, Elon Musk, have tried to shut down the agency that has delivered $21 billion to hardworking families, $21 billion to people who got cheated, and Trump and Musk want to just take that agency away. Donald Trump and Elon Musk have told the financial cops at the CFPB to stand down. Now think about this. I want you to think about this for a minute. No matter how big the scam, no matter how bold the trap, they have said, just stand by and let the Wall Street boys take your money. Well, we are here to fight back. We want our financial cops back on the beat.
CoffeeZilla Financial Protection Bureau. That's what the C stands for, really.
This is a fight, and I want you to watch who this fight is between. This is a fight between millions of hardworking people who just don't want to get cheated, and a handful of billionaires like Elon Musk who want the chance to cheat them.
That is good framing. That is good framing right there. That's what I want to see more of this. I want to see like people literally framing it in Robin Hood terms. They are stealing from the poor. They are your sheriffs of Nottingham. They are, you know, they are like the fairy tale demons of old coming forth to steal what little you have. Okay? Like they are actual devils amongst us.
So here's how we have to think about this. For every person who wants to buy a home without getting scammed, this fight is your fight.
Yeah, and the thing is, I understand why people are hesitant about Elizabeth Warren, but you know what? I'll take her in this time. There are a lot worse allies than Elizabeth Warren right now, folks. I get it. She genuinely gives a shit about the CFPB. This is like her baby.
For every family that doesn't want to get put out on the street in an illegal foreclosure, this is your fight. For every...
Yeah, honestly, Stoudman, exactly. Like, in the time we're in right now, we have a very simple question to ask, and that is, which side are you on? That's the only question that matters anymore. Which side are you on?
Student who wants to borrow money to go to...
You're right, Storm. No one can help. Which is why we can't rely on any one person. This is not a game of one hero coming in to save us. Never was. It is only all of us acting together. That's it. It's having faith in other people to hold up and do their part. It's all society ever was.
School without getting defrauded. This is your fight. For every member of our
Bernie was never going to save us
either.
either. True.
Trapped by some sleazy payday lender. Say it with me. This is your fight. For every person who borrows money to buy a car and doesn't want to get...
It's not one punch, man. It's many punches, man. Okay, Zaki Alix. Socialist? Wait, how do I pronounce your name? Zoshalix? That is a 10 out of 10 comment right there. 10 out of 10 comment.
Trapped in the fine print. This is your fight.
Zoshalix,
For every
gotcha.
American who doesn't want to see Wall Street crash our economy again, this is your fight. Oh, and for every American who doesn't want some weird Elon Musk suck up.
You've heard of the million...
Searching through Europe.
You've heard of the Million Man March. Wait until you see the Million Punches March.
Personal private data. This is your fight. Your fight, my fight, our fight, and we will win this fight. Because understand this fight is about more than one little agency. This fight is about more than just our financial rules and regulations. This fight is about more than just Democrat versus Republican politics. This fight is about hardworking people versus the billionaires who want to squeeze more and more and more money out of them.
Let's go, Liz.
And now is our time to put a stop to this. Look, these damn billionaires are making their moves right out in the open. Look at Elon, please. No, just look. He invested $288 million to buy an election for Donald Trump.
No, she's a really good
And
speaker,
now
Dragonfly.
He is right here to collect on that investment. Elon Musk owns X, which has been losing money like crazy. So Elon has a plan for a new payment platform called X Money.
Which is honestly like the first I've heard about this. Like, I know he's always dreamed of having like an everything app, but this is the first I've heard of this specific plan.
Elon wants X Money to touch every part of your financial life. But
The CFPB
Elon
is her baby,
has got a
and like
problem.
Casey Anthony,
The
she killed it by going
financial
full
cops.
snake.
Thank you,
You
Saka
got your
Tanuki.
sunrise, you caught a prize, your mate and your Johnson. Party nights, summer whites, your friends and your Johnson. Rooster tails, water trails, your kids and your Johnson. Saturday nights, distant lights, your girl and your Johnson.
You and your Johnson, a way of life for over 50 years.
A way of life for over 50 years. All right, back to these regularly scheduled broadcasts.
The CFPB is there to make sure that Elon's new project can't scam you or steal your sensitive personal data. So Elon's solution, get rid of the cops, kill the CFPB. This is like a bank robber trying to fire the cops and turn off the alarms just before he strolls into the lobby. We are here to fight back. So I gotta ask, are you ready to stand up to the scammers? Are you ready to push back against the fraudsters? Are you ready to say no to Elon Musk? Look, after the 2008 financial crash and the big bank bailout, Congress created the CFPB to protect people from getting swindled. Congress built it, and no one other than Congress, not Donald Trump, not Elon Musk, no one can fire the financial cops.
I think you meant the financial coffeezillas, ma'am.
We are fighting back, and understand this. There is power in fighting back. Real power. We, the people, not Elon Musk. We, the people, have the real power in this country, and we are going to use that power.
There's power in a union, you say.
So here it is. Are you ready to fight for the little agency that fights for us? Are you ready to fight the billionaires who are trying to take over this country? Are you ready to say no to Elon Musk? We will fight it out in Congress. We will fight it out in the courts. We will fight it out across this country. And I promise you, we will win.
Not a bad opening for this event. Not gonna lie.
Give it up for Senator Elizabeth Warren. Okay, we've got a lot of champions here tonight. We have another senator coming up, and remind me, what are we asking our elected officials right now? Something about withholding something. Withhold your vote.
Part of the purpose of these events now, it seems this week, is to hold Democratic Congress people to like a pledge to actually withhold their vote. It becomes a lot harder for them to be like, oh, maybe I won't withhold it this time. You know, they offered me a nice concession. It makes it a lot harder if they just promise to withhold their vote. I think this is just good politics, frankly. It might not be enough, but given like what Indivisible's working with here and on such a short time frame, this is good politicking.
Senator Chris Van Hollen, my senator from Maryland. I got to ask you, are you willing to withhold your vote until this constitutional crisis is over?
I am, and
also just shout out to Senator Chris Van Hollen, because literally I could not find this protest anywhere outside of his personal YouTube channel. So shout out to Chris Van Hollen for doing the work here to actually get this out, because I'm not gonna lie, folks, I've seen almost no coverage of these protests outside of what Indivisible produces and outside of what like individual senators have put together for these. I don't know what to attribute that to, but like there's not a whole lot outside of like sideways mentions of this in more mainstream press. And which is why I know I've been showing a lot of these protests, but that's why I've been showing them in their entirety, because a lot of people just haven't seen them. And it's really important that we see them. It's really important to get this out there.
no more business as usual in the United States Senate.
Hope not.
Let's give it up for Elizabeth Warren, who helped create the CFPB. So Elon Musk wants to shut down the CFPB, but we're here to say we're going to shut down Elon Musk's illegal operation. You know, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau has returned billions of dollars to Americans who were victims of fraudsters, of cheaters, and scammers. And so there's something particularly sick, particularly twisted about the richest man in the world trying to shut down that compensation for Americans who have been cheated by scammers. Are we going to shut down the Elon Musk operation? You bet we are, because as Elizabeth Warren said, and you know, this is a small organization, and it's taken on some very powerful interests. It's the cop on the beat, but all those cheaters and scammers, they don't want it to succeed. And so that's why they brought Elon Musk in to do their dirty work for them. Are we going to let them get away with that? No. Hell no. This is the most corrupt bargain in American history. Elon Musk spent over $280 million to elect Donald Trump, and Donald Trump has given Elon Musk the keys to the United States government. Are we going to let that stand? This is a takeover. You see what they're doing here at the CFPB. You saw what happened over the Treasury Department. the biggest heist of Americans' sensitive personal information that we've ever seen. Are we going to let that stand? They access Social Security information. They access banking information. A judge told them to cut it out. And you probably heard the Vice President of the United States saying, I'm not sure a judge has that power. Well, judges have that power. They have the power to apply the law. So all of us need to do what we're doing right here. Stand, unite, and fight. Democracy over oligarchy. Stop the billionaire grift. Nobody elected Elon, and that's why it's important that the American people gather here, because I will close with this. Their ultimate goal is to shut down important services for the American people. They just shut down and they just deeply cut monies that are spent in medical research to help develop cures and treatments for cancer. They shut down funds for the Agency for International Development that helps.
Are we winning yet? Absolutely not.
Stop the spread of diseases overseas, which not only saves lives overseas, but stop those diseases from spreading here in the United States. And when they cut all those important programs for the American people, they've been at the Department of Education, they've been over at CMS with the Medicare files, they've been throughout the government. What they want to do is they then want to give this big, fat tax cut to Elon Musk and the billionaires. Are we going to let them do that? Hell no, we're not going to let them do that, because when Donald Trump on Inauguration Day said it's going to be a new golden age for America, he did not mean the people he said he had campaigned for. He didn't mean the forgotten Americans. He meant Elon Musk and the tech titans who are standing right behind him. So this is a great fraud. This is the great betrayal we're seeing in the first 21 days. And we're here to blow the whistle and say, hell no, we're going to shut down the Elon Musk operation. Are we going to do that? Let's do it together. All right. And now, one of my great heroes, Maxine Waters.
Wow, wow, wow. Look at this crowd. Elon Musk, where are you? Bring your ass over here so you can see who's here and what we're doing. We're not afraid of you. We know that you are the co-president now of the United States of America. But ladies and gentlemen, I want you to follow very closely what he...
Okay. Also, full disclosure, I watched her speech earlier, and it's kind of fire. I'm not gonna lie.
He's doing and how he has done it. First of all, we're here at the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. What is it? This is so important. Prior to this being organized in the Dodd-Frank reforms, consumers didn't have any place to really file complaints. They didn't have anywhere to go when the biggest banks in America was ripping them off. The student loans were being undermined. They didn't have any place to go. But guess what? The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau was organized in a way to deal with people who are the victims of fraud by the biggest corporations in America. And
it's all good, Storm.
What do? They're holding mega banks accountable for violating the law. They're protecting service members from illegal fees, high interest loans, and false advertising. Stops discrimination in housing and the U.S. economy. Protects students from scams. Why does Elon Musk want to get rid of all of this? Because he's a thief. He's a gangster. He brings his billionaire friends along with him because they think that they can take over this country. And Trump has said, you give me enough money, you can have it. And that's what he has done.
We need to see this being screamed on every single mainstream network. Whenever these people go out, they need to say this shit. It's incredible that we're like a week and a half into this, and this is like the first time we're really hearing like someone lay it out. Like, there have been a few exceptions, like AOC, but like this is the first time I've seen like congressional Dems who are, you know, like Maxine Waters, you know, liberals, say this shit.
Turned over our country to Elon Musk. We didn't elect him. We didn't select him. We didn't ask for him, and we don't want him. And so, if he thinks we're pushovers, he got another thought coming. We are prepared to fight. We're prepared to fight. And while he is collecting all of the data, he has violated our privacy. He has violated our privacy, and he keeps going. Well, you know, we fought him over at Treasury. Remember, he took his little gangsters in, and they stole our private information, and we organized in the way that we're doing today. He was surprised as hell. He didn't know that we would come together in the way that we're doing. USAID, he went in there. Why did he go? It is my understanding he was already under investigation by you. And so he went in there to steal all of the records, to get all of the data. But guess what? It's something bigger going on with him and Trump. Elon is over in South Africa, threatening Ramaphosa, the president of South Africa, and telling him, we are coming in here. I'm going to create a whole battery factory. But
this is the first I've heard of this too, and like I've been paying very close attention. This is kind of insane.
You guys work to get something, I believe, in your Constitution that says that the black South Africans
I've not seen an
and
anonymous
people
message.
who we fought for to get rid of apartheid now can have 30% in all of the foreign businesses that come in. Elon Musk said, I'm going to build a battery factory. I want you to get rid of that 30%. And so we said no. And so I've talked with the ambassador from South Africa. They're fighting. They're struggling. But guess what happened? Trump announced that they're going to get rid of all the foreign aid if he doesn't do it. And they're reorganizing all of the right-wing old people that we fought in order to get rid of apartheid. But now these gangsters are going to threaten and bluff them and take over South Africa by going in and developing all of Elon's businesses and the battery factory.
Yeah, this is the first I have heard of this entire thing, and it like does seem like it fits in with Elon Musk's broader aims and aspirations. Like, dude genuinely seems to miss apartheid South Africa, and he just wants to make it. You know, he just wants to make it great again. You know, he wants to rebuild the apartheid. You know, with modern AI improvements, I'm sure.
This is thievery. This is gangsterism. This is no respect for anything or anybody. Well, I want you to know that we are not afraid of anything and anybody. We have worked too hard. We have fought too hard for this democracy, and we ain't turning it over to Elon Musk. I want Elon Musk to know that Anonymous
leaked Trump's personal details. Yeah, I'm not touching that shit.
Going to stop him. I don't care what he thinks about his power. I don't care what he thinks about his ownership of this country. First of all, I want you to applaud the courts. They're doing a pretty damn good job right now. They're doing a pretty damn good job, but they will be as strong as we are. When we show up in the numbers like we're doing today.
What details? Like, I'm not
it sends
talking about
a message to the court.
You can't trick me.
We mean business. Do we mean business? Now, ladies and gentlemen.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, Maxine Waters like 1 billion years old, but you know what? She can still kind of belt it. Not gonna lie.
We gotta send another message out here. And the message is, for all of you who voted for him, you did.
Elon Musk is unironically Crystal Malik from Psychonauts 2. Grulovia Grulovia, this song is full of cope.
It's true. Grulovia, Grulovia, the song is full of cope indeed.
Elon Musk is unironically Crystal Malik from Psychonauts 2. Grulovia Grulovia, this song is full of cope.
Grulovia. Now, folks, I think I speak for all of us when I say thank you, Sake Tanuki, for the 5 gifted tier 1 subs, and also...
You've got your sunrise, you caught a prize, your mate and your Johnson. Party nights, summer whites, you, your friends and your Johnson. Rooster tails, water trails, you, your kids and your Johnson. Saturday nights, distant lights, you, your girl and your Johnson.
You and your Johnson, a way of life for over 50 years.
Good times. I remember my time with my Johnson.
Didn't know he was going to get you too. And so we want you to come forward, and I want you to say, I voted, but I changed my mind. I didn't know that he was going to get me too. I didn't know that he was going to make sure that anybody in any of these agencies where we want to go in and capture all of this data, which we will monetize. He's all about money. All of it will be monetized. I'm so proud to be here with you today. One of the greatest achievements of my career has been the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. And let me just wrap this up by saying I was there when we created the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. In the Dodd-Frank reforms, remember that? And we created that, and I've worked with it. They have fought us. The Republicans have tried to destroy it. We have won in the Supreme Court, but we were smart. When we organized it, we made sure they didn't have to go through the appropriations process. They get their funding directly from the feds. And just as we work to protect it so that their money would not be taken from them in the appropriations process, we're going to work now to make sure that he's not going to kill the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. We're not going to allow it. They lied on us when we were over at the Department of Education. They said, that's what Trump said. He said that we were breaking in. We ain't breaking in nowhere. We're using our power. We're using our collective power. We're standing up. We're speaking out. And this is our country, and we're not going to let Elon Musk have it. He can't have it. So, Elon, come here and face us. Bring your ass on over here. Come on over here and face us so you can hear from us. You can see us. You can look us in the eye. We're not afraid. Are we going to fight? Are we going to win? Is this our country? Are we going to let it be sold? No. Are we going to tell Trump, get out of the way and take your thieving Elon Musk with you? Thank you very much.
Honestly, I really like the idea of framing Elon Musk as like a petty thief, you know? I think it's the kind of thing that gets him under his skin because he loves being like a super special, like genius. You know, he wants to be the specialist boy. You know, he's not a thief. He's an exceptional thief. You know, he's got the Hans Gruber mentality, you know? Well, he's just a little bitch boy. He's not even cool like Alan Rickman. What did he actually create ever? Dude has never created anything. He like made one website once and it was dog shit. He like barely strung it together, you know? And like everything else has just been him lucking into money by investing into things that are like, oh, hey, what if you did a bank, but it was online? That's not, oh my God. Boom. Revolutionary. What a genius. No. It's just him lucking into money with his other similarly wealthy friends.
Representative Maxine Waters, everybody. Incredible.
Hans Groipert, true.
Okay, we've got a lineup here of a lot of fighters. And what do we want to see from our fighters? We've got Frank Pallone from New Jersey. Representative Pallone, can I ask you, are you willing to withhold your vote until this constitutional crisis is over?
I'm absolutely withholding my vote. And we just want to thank you. We got a lot of Democratic members of Congress here from all over the country, and we just want to thank you all because you have the power, and it's just great to see so many people here today united to fight against Elon Musk and Trump and what they're trying to do with the consumer agency. Now, I just want to say very briefly, in my home state of New Jersey, last year, there were 100,000 people that filed complaints with the CFPB. And as has been mentioned, if it didn't exist and if it wasn't really robust, they would not have a place to go. And that's why this is so important, because the billionaires have a place to go, but the little guy often does not. And they have it here in this agency. And I want to tell you, back in my district, I don't care if it's, payday lenders or it's medical debt or it's overdraft fees. People are hurting. And it's only because of this agency that they have someone to fight for them against all these predatory practices. So once again, thank you again. Thank you for what you do. And we're going to continue the fight. Thanks.
You did it short and sweet, son. Good job coming out here. You go get some rest. All right? You did good. We got an old white man telling us we're doing a good job. Good, everyone feel good about yourselves now, okay?
When we fight, when we fight. Okay, I'm really pleased to introduce our next speaker. Representative Ayanna Pressley is in the house. Where's Ayanna? I think I know the answer to this, but Representative Pressley, are you willing to withhold your vote until this constitutional crisis is over?
Absolutely.
God, she always dresses
Last week
fire.
I saw a sign in the crowd that said Doge stands for dangerous oligarchs grab at everything. And I said it then and I'll say it again, that Elon Musk needs to keep his grubby hands, his greedy grubby hands off of our government. I don't know about all of you, but I'm having a hard time sleeping at night. My daughter is 16 years old and looking at colleges, and I'm so worried about the world that she's living in now and the world that she will inherit. And I asked myself, how do we get here? How were working men and women convinced to believe that a failed businessman who was godless and lawless could lead them anywhere? Because he lied. Because he's a liar and a crook. But he's been given a lot of oxygen. I want to give you all some. You're all here when you could have been anywhere else because you give a damn. You give a damn about this country. You give a damn about our democracy. You give a damn about your neighbors. You are the true patriots. Now, you may not have an occupant in the Oval Office that cares about lifting your burdens and lightening your loads and harnessing your dreams to make them real. But know that the Democrats that stand behind me, they have got your back. And we will stand up and we will fight until they stand down, because we are going to match their energy. Elon Musk and your muskrats. Elon Musk, Donald Trump, same thing at this point, right? Who really is the president, Donald? Donald Trump ran on a promise to bring down costs for everyday people, didn't have a plan for it, but said he would. Well, Donald, how's that going? I'll ask you all, how's it going? Are your eggs cheaper? Is your housing more affordable? Tell me how letting Elon put his paws in a cookie jar is helping a single person who calls this country home. Families are struggling. The rent is too damn high. The cost of groceries is too damn high. The big banks and giant corporations are all too eager to nickel and dime hardworking people. And you know what has been a saving grace for families trying to hold on to a buck? This small but mighty government agency, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Now look, those of you watching, you may have never heard of them. You know, isn't it just the truth that you don't know how much you benefit from your government or your democracy until someone comes through with a wrecking ball and creates a constitutional crisis with an unprecedented power grab? You've never heard of them, but trust me, they've been working hard for you, the people, for over a decade. They are the same agency that got banks to cap overdraft fees. They take on scammers that are after our elders' money. They stop the medical debt from dinging your credit report. They go after banks that practice lending discrimination. This is what we're going to dismantle. What in the hell kind of government efficiency is that?
It's true. You can't really make the argument that, like, an agency that basically self-funds from the money it takes back from corporations for consumers, like, you can't really argue that they are operating inefficiently when they are providing billions of dollars back to consumers. There's no argument whatsoever. And while that is very obvious to us, it is good for her to make that argument for people who have no basis of reference for what the CFPB does.
No justice for scammed elders? Look, let me tell you something. I'll take a bit of umbrage here. I'll speak on behalf of my colleagues. I think I can say we are all willing to work with anyone who's serious about doing the work of censoring the American people and advancing progress. But they are not serious. This is not about government efficiency. What kind of efficiency makes people hungrier, poorer, and less safe? The CFPB are watchdogs fighting for the people, so no wonder Elon and Donald want to gut it. They don't want watchdogs protecting the people. They want predators and bad actors to run rampant and take people for a ride. These men just want to pillage the government and make themselves rich. Meanwhile, the CFPB, this essential agency that could put $21 billion, that's B with a billion, dollars back in people's pockets. Now, if you're Elon Musk, with a net worth, are y'all ready? Of near $400 billion, maybe that's pocket change, but not for everyday people. The good policies coming out of this place have been make or break for folks struggling to make ends meet in the midst of recessions, pandemics, and much more. So I just want to take a moment, because I told some stories and profiles about people who've been protected and helped by this agency, but I don't want this workforce to be faceless to you. Can we just thank this dedicated workforce at the CFPB? Agencies across our government who have been doing this life-saving work. They take pride in this work. That's right. That's right.
It's also just like this is just good politics, because like these people are just chanting, let us do our job. Let us protect you from scammers. Let us protect you from companies taking advantage of Mima and Pop. You know, like, let us do our job and get back the money that has been stolen from you. What a wonderful thing and a desire to see manifest on screen, you know? What a wonderful, like, creation we've made as a society, that we just have a group of people who are dedicated and passionate enough about doing the task of getting money back from, like, right bastards. You know, who are ripping people off right and left, who might be very powerful in and of themselves. And we have a group of people who make it their job to day after day go out and claw that money back for working folk. And that's the organization that gets cut by Elon Musk. Really tells you what he intends to do, doesn't it?
They do life-saving work, and this is also about their lives and their livelihoods as well. So we're grateful to them in the midst of this unprecedented assault on our democracy. And I want to say to them, the uncertainty and fear that you are feeling today is real. But I want you to know that every single person here and then some has your back. And we are going to litigate, legislate, agitate, and resist, because you are worth it. So we will see you in Congress, in the courts, and in the streets. And I'll close it out here. Again, as I think about my 16-year-old daughter. A movement sibling of all of ours, Cecile Richards, an incredible warrior for justice, recently transitioned. And in the midst of battling cancer, she was still out in these streets organizing and resisting. And she was asked, "What are you doing here? You're still fighting when you're in a fight for your life." And her response was, the question will be asked, when everything was at stake for the country, what did you do? And the only acceptable answer will be, everything that I could.
It's true. If you've ever looked at a history book and wondered to yourself, what would you do in times like those? In times that are too interesting, in times that are, full of danger, despair, suffering, what would you do? You're finding out right now. You're finding out right now. And I know I'm going to do everything I goddamn can. And I hope you guys will join me.
Thank you all.
Representative Ayanna Pressley, everyone. Wow. Now that is a tough act to follow, but we've got a couple of folks, Alice Cohen and Marissa Dukowski, who are consumer attorneys for the CFPB, on the front lines actually fighting for all of us. Y'all here to tell us the actual impact of this attack on Americans.
Let's go, CFPB agents, let's go!
We're looking for an Alice and a Marissa. Oh, here we go.
Hello. Hi, everyone. My name is Marissa Dukowski. I'm a multiply disabled attorney and activist on the Disabilities Community Project staff attorney at SEDEC DC, an independent public interest law center. We've represented numerous clients who have come to us after Comerica Bank refused to reverse unauthorized charges on their Direct Express cards, which are used by over 3 million people to receive payments for Social Security, veteran pensions, and disability benefits.
Jesus.
Many of these folks have disabilities or are over 65. In one case, an 87-year-old disabled client whose only source of income was Social Security came to us for help in disputing charges for online purchases taken out of her Social Security payment. She didn't even know how to use a computer. We attempted to contact Comerica Bank and were on hold for at least an hour if we could even get through. Each time we called, about 5 times. To make matters worse, our client relied on a prepaid phone, so each call required my client.
I have schizoaffective disorder and live on disability. How hard do I need to worry? A lot. Very, very hard. If you are not... let me put it this way. If you live in America and you are not currently worried about this, you need to be worried about this. like their main goal is to rob from Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security in order to pay for the biggest tax cuts ever seen on the face of the earth to the richest people who have ever existed. That is their plan. And if some of us need to die in order for that to happen, they are willing for that to happen. They're cold motherfuckers.
To spend resources she simply did not have. When we could get someone on the line, the agent would often hang up upon learning that an attorney was on the call. Once an agent promised to send her a fraud questionnaire, but surprise, surprise, never did. After about a month and a half of disputing the fraudulent claims with Comerica, it became more expensive for our client to call Direct Express repeatedly on her prepaid phone than it was for her to stop disputing the final fraudulent charge and assume liability for this loss. That's why the CFPB just 2 months ago sued Comerica Bank for conduct that includes deliberately disconnecting 24 million customer service calls and mishandling fraud complaints. But work on that case has now halted. Yes, Boo is right. The CFPB's move to hold Comerica accountable for violations of federal laws and regulations was so critical. Not everyone has a lawyer to support them, and even those who do can't always get the relief they're looking for. Lawsuits like this one, addressing systemic violations, help to keep consumers like my client safe. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You had trouble donating today through Streamlabs? Oh, I can take a look at that. Oh, Salmon Moose, I just saw your message. I appreciate that very much. All right, odds and ends picks. Let's take a look here. Yoink. Can anyone tell you what this is? Yeah, that's Streamlabs asking for access to your Twitch account. Which, like, they do so that, like, your Twitch and your Streamlabs account, like, can talk to each other. I get that all the time with a lot of my apps that cross like that or interact like that with Twitch.
Good evening, allies. I am Elise Cohen from the National Consumer Law Center, and this is my colleague and CLC Associate Director, Lauren Saunders. Homeowners around the nation have the CFPB to thank for a mortgage market that roots out fraud and abuse, and for the fact that when families hit a bump in the road, companies are required to work with you to find an affordable solution. Let me tell you about one family who, after multiple significant hardships, saved their home because of the CFPB. The son of elderly homeowners in a rural county in Maine, scattered with family farms, bought his parents' home so they could live out the rest of their lives there and he could live with and care for them. Due to medical issues and job loss, he soon after lost his salary and instead received Social Security disability and food stamps. He fell behind on the mortgage. He cut back on everything he could: groceries, heat, hot water, gifts, going out. He felt overcome with guilt that he could not make the payments and suffered from depression. He saw that his mother suffered from anxiety around losing the home too, and that made him feel more guilt and shame. When he asked for mortgage help, his loan company...
Yeah, Mithril, I understand the impulse to doom because, like, holy shit, we're on the precipice of something truly terrible. But also, like, the only way we get through this is by holding on to each other. And so either way, the thing we have to do doesn't really change that much. We work together, we organize together, we hold together. And then when the worst happens, we respond to that the best we can. You know? But that response is going to be a lot easier and a lot more powerful if we're able to respond together as opposed to by ourselves. I don't want anyone in this community to feel like they are on their own.
A company that the CFPB has sued offered him an expensive plan that set him up to fail instead of the affordable one their policies required. The monthly payment was 150% of his monthly income on disability, and it required an initial payment that was 200% of his monthly income. The son and his parents pooled their resources and made payments, but this was not sustainable. During these times, his mother passed away, and he cared for his father, who had dementia. The mortgage company should have given this family the payment they could afford, the one their policies required, but instead they gave them years of hardship. Later, the family was able to get help, and because the CFPB's rules made the difference, they were able to get that affordable payment, the one they should have been offered years earlier. Because of the CFPB, his father could live out his life in the family home. The CFPB saves homes.
CFPB, 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 CFPB.
Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank all of you.
For Elon Musk, this is about power. This isn't about power. This is about people. That's why we are here. That's why we are here. Now, we're going to hear from Doug Wilson with the CFPB union. Doug, come on up. Tell us the impact of this attack on people.
Let's go. We love our union reps.
Good afternoon. Thank you for being here. I am a proud employee of the CFPB. And I am a proud member of our union, NTEU Chapter 335. Let's hear it. We just want to do our jobs. Our work at the CFPB touches the lives of almost every American. We protect you if you have a bank account, a credit card, if you've ever taken out a mortgage to buy a house for your family, or an auto loan to buy a car so you can get to work, then it's our job to look out for you. We are on the side of the American consumer. We are the only federal agency solely focused on protecting consumers.
Blessings.
Yo, Jaeger Larson, thank you for the $117 dono. Holy moly, thank you very, very much. God damn! Thank you. I really appreciate that. Especially, I know when we tend to get deeper into the night, the donos slow down, so I really appreciate that. Thank you.
In the financial marketplace. When payday lenders charge 400% interest, when debt collectors harass people at work, when credit reporting companies lose your data, we're the ones who step in and make it right. So what happens if the CFPB disappears? Who will fight for service members targeted by predatory car loans? Who will stand up for seniors getting scammed out of their retirement savings?
Not Elon fucking Musk.
Who will ensure that mortgage lenders don't discriminate? My colleagues and I, we just want to get back to work. The CFPB has protected consumers under Republican and Democratic presidents. We just need to keep doing this work. If you're standing with us today, we need your support more than ever. The CFPB's mission to protect consumers isn't just our job, It's a commitment that we share with every American who believes in fair financial markets and a fair shake in life. Please tell your friends and family about the CFPB's work. Share our stories. Contact your elected representatives and let them know that a strong, independent CFPB is essential. Your voice makes a difference in this fight. Together, we can ensure that the CFPB continues to stand up for consumers across America. And to my brothers and sisters in the NTEU, we are not giving up. We have our rights. We have our contract. And we are going to fight to get back to work protecting American consumers. Thank you very much.
You know what? Know what I really appreciate about this speech and about that man? You can tell he was nervous as fuck. You can see his hand shaking there at the end of that speech.
Fight to get back to work protecting American consumers. Thank you.
He's trembling. You know, he's people are scared, man. But that is one of the best things about these times, is that when people come together, we get braver. We're suddenly able to do things we weren't able to do before. We're able to come together and find a strength that no single one of us would have on our own. And I think that's really beautiful. Like, this guy is having to do something he never imagined he would have to do. Like, he imagined negotiating union contracts. He did not imagine going toe-to-toe with the fascist president of the United States and his fascist fucking cronies. But here he is, he's stepping up. He's doing his part. Have you? Have all of us? I think these are questions we need to ask. What do we demand of ourselves in these times? We need to be calling. We need to be emailing. We need to be, if we can, going to the offices of our elected representatives. We need to be checking in. Here, guys, here's a tool. Here's a tool I have handy right here. All right? This is the indivisible tool. It can help you find different indivisible protests that are happening around the country. All right? And if you don't see one in your area, you can make one. And then you can share that around social media, or you know what? You can share it in our Discord. We have a protest. We have an entire protest section for the Discord. Go share it in there. Get other people to share it around. You aren't checking that part of the Discord? Start checking it. We need to start doing our part to make sure more people know that there are mobilization efforts, that you are not alone, and that people are out there who will fight for you, who will fight for your loved ones, who will fight for all of us. Spam that shit wherever you hang out. Which side are you on? Let's keep going. This is good shit.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doug. Let us work. Let us work. Let us work. We've got more members of Congress here wanting to fight for the CFPB. Representative Emmanuel Cleaver from Missouri. I just got one question. Are you willing to withhold your vote until this constitutional crisis is over?
Yeah, right now. Right now. Right now. Right now. One of the greatest joys of my time here in Congress was to work with Maxine Waters, Elizabeth Warren, and Barney Frank to create the CFPB. Now, I'm going to be quick because I want to send a message to somebody. Elon, take your musty millions and musty Moscow rights to the moon. Because if you don't, we're going to stand up, we're going to speak out, we're going to march We're going to do anything we need to do to make sure that the people of this country understand that the CFPB is for them. You get your musty hands off of our money or go to Moscow. You musty moo.
Dude really wanted to say musty motherfucker. I wish he had said it. I wish, commit to the bit. Short and sweet as hell.
Short but sweet. Love that. Representative Joyce Beatty from Ohio. Can I ask you, are you willing to withhold your vote until this constitutional crisis is over?
I will hold my vote until they understand and respect us.
You know, one of the things I've been talking about in our streams lately is the need for kind of creating this culture in our various spaces of being okay, you know, of like being arrested and like doing peaceful acts of resistance, etc. But also that applies to Congress too. And so one of the things I like about this particular protest is that every single one of these people attending is committing to withholding their vote in order to delay the proceedings in Congress as much as possible. And I think that when you establish that as a precedent and you keep amping up this pressure, we're going to get more and more and more members of Congress out for these. And you know what? Maybe we'll even get to the point where there's enough pressure for Hakeem Jeffries to be out here in one of these. And that, I mean, I will be shocked, but I would also not be surprised. He is spineless. And that can be an asset as well as a liability.
I come today because we put consumer protection over profit. I come today because we stand in faith. I come today because we stand with unions. I come today because we are the people, and it is about people power. I come today because I serve on the powerful Financial Services Committee, and Maxine Waters will always be my chair. I come here today to say that we come with our executive orders, the people's orders. I come today because we come with our notice to put on their doors, because it is the notice of the people. Why are we here? We are here because we understand that we have a job to do, the people's job, together. I come to do my black job. I come to tell you that black and brown people, $1 trillion since 2008 on illegal foreclosures. I come to say that corporate America, we stand with the CFPB because you will not take our cars. You will not foreclose on our homes. You will not take over because we represent the people's house.
Also, it is nice to hear sitting Congress people acknowledging that, like, their goal is to take over here. Like, we're getting it more, like, still a bit, like, sideways. The lead is still buried, but, like, it's in there. There's recognition of the existential threat of our times, and that is positive change.
We represent people power. We represent standing with the people. So when you ask us if we will hold our vote, we will say to Elon Musk and we will say to Donald Trump, we are not afraid of you. Bring it on, because we have people power, people power, people power. And let me close with saying, we stand with you. We fight with you. We go to war with you because we understand that we are here to represent the people's house. And you can trust us because we stand with you every day. When we go into that committee, every day our job is to make somebody uncomfortable because they're trying to take away our power. And let me say to the Republicans on the other side, where are you? when we think 4 out of 5 people stand with the CFPB. 77% of them are Republicans. So where are they today? Let's go knock on their door. Let's go tell them we're coming with people power. We're coming after everyone who does not stand with us. Because we stand with you.
This is the kind of fucking energy we need. Fuck yes. See what I mean, guys? We need to be watching this because, like, holy shit, we need this. We need this so badly. This is the kind of, like, actual language and mobilization effort and energy we need.
The messages you hear today, they're not an idle threat. We come today because this nation is hurting. We come today because we care about people. We come today because no one elected Elon Musk. We come today because Donald Trump can't lead this nation. And he is allowing someone not elected to do the job that he's supposed to do. So Donald Trump, what does that say about you? You don't have power, but we have people power, and we're coming after you. We're coming after you with our people power. Thank you, God bless you, and I'm Congresswoman Joyce Beatty, and I approve this message. God bless you.
What a queen. Congresswoman Joyce Beatty. What a goddamn queen. Also, like, one thing I do appreciate about her, no fear. No fear. She's like, fuck it, try and arrest me. Try and arrest me. We're coming after you with people power. We're coming after you. Like, goddamn. That's what I needed. That I inject that right into my veins.
Incredible. Incredible. Did we elect Elon Musk? No. Is Donald Trump king? No. Are we going to fight? Yes. Are we going to win? Yes. Now, Representative Nadia Velasquez from New York, the top Democrat on the Financial Services Committee. One quick question, because we want you to fire us up. It's getting a little cold. Are you willing to withhold your vote until this constitutional crisis is over?
You bet. Thank you. I'm Congresswoman Nadia Velasquez. I've been in the Financial Services Committee for 32 years, working with and fighting with Maxine Waters. And I was there when we were working on the legislation that created the CFPB. And they fought hard. They went and they tried to use the legislative vehicle not to prevent this legislation from coming to fruition. But then they didn't stop there. They went all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court. And we won, the people won. Because when we fight, we win. Okay, so, and by the way, small businesses are consumers too. And I am the ranking top Democrat of the Small Business Committee. So CFPB is an important agency for small businesses in this country. But I have a question to make. How many of you went to the grocery store this week or this weekend? I did. I had my family over and I went. And by the way, when Donald Trump
is this going to be about the price of eggs? Man, you needed to keep going with the energy the last lady gave. I don't want to hear more about this egg shit.
Took office on January 20th.
I don't know that resonates with anybody.
Of eggs cost $5.87. Yesterday, a dozen was $12.49. In New York, in Court Street. So, instead of talking about inflation, because he promised that on day one, he will bring inflation down. And so, what is he doing? He is creating all these crises to keep people and the media asking him whatever happened to inflation, whatever happened to lowering prices for working day people in America. He's doing nothing. By destroying this agency, he's going to bring inflation down.
Still waiting on that egg giveaway. Do I look like I'm made out of solid gold? I don't have money for eggs.
I don't think so. This president is a fraud. A small-minded person who cares less about people. Heartless. The other day, I went to another rally, and this young lady approached me. This was protesting the USA AIT. And she walked over me, put her hands over my shoulder, and said, "This man is going to ruin me and my family. I have 3 children, and one of them is going to college. My husband, too, working another agency. We are going to find ourselves without a job." And I said, "No, you're not. You're not, because we're going to be fighting for you." And I don't want anyone to say that we are emotionally exhausted. We cannot be. Because this is the fight of our lives. This is the fight for our children. This is the future of our Constitution. It is about our democratic values. And we cannot be afraid of Elon Musk or this president. All it takes is organizing. Organizing. I was here in 2017 when he issued the Muslim ban. I was the first member of Congress to go into JFK. And we changed the dynamic. We have the power. We must fight for the future of America and the future of American family. God bless you all. Thank you.
Damn, Danny DeVito was right. We really could use eggs in these trying times. Man. My neighbor's selling a dozen for $3.
Can I ask for a favor? Can you show me what democracy looks like? Show me what democracy looks like. Okay, our next speaker, Representative Ansari, she's only been on the job for a month, but she did not waste any time coming out swinging. One question, are you willing to withhold your vote until this constitutional crisis ends?
Thank you. Good evening, everyone.
Let's
First
go.
of all, such an honor to have these 2 incredible women who have literally spent their entire lives fighting for this agency. Please give them another round of applause. I'm Congresswoman Yasamin Ansari. I proudly represent Phoenix, Glendale, and Guadalupe in Congress. And these hardworking individuals sent me here to fight for them, for their grocery prices, for their cost of living, and every single thing that we have seen from this administration is the exact opposite. It has been just over 20 days since Donald Trump has been inaugurated as president and since he has pretty much handed over the entirety of our government to Elon Musk. And I don't know about you, for me it has felt like so much longer than that, because we know that their entire purpose and their agenda is to wear us down and to paralyze us into fear and into feeling like there's nothing we can do. I am the proud daughter of immigrants, and I assure you that I grew up hearing about, from my parents who fled an authoritarian regime, the habits and the characteristics of what authoritarian regimes act like, right? First of all, they take over everything. They take over the agencies, they take over the media, they take over every sphere of influence in public life, and they create this culture of fear. And that is the absolute last thing that we, as the people in this country, can let happen in this situation. This is a war for the soul of our country, and we have to fight back. Last week,
I'm dying. I'm dying for more rhetoric like this. Please, please, I need to see more recognition of the severity of the issue that we're dealing with now. I need to see that, like, for my own sanity.
we have to fight back. Never in my life did I think that within 1 week we would see an all-out assault on U.S. aid, on the Treasury, on the Environmental Protection Agency, on the Department of Education, and now the agency that is literally designed to support and protect working people from fraud and abuse and predatory lenders. I can tell you in Arizona, this agency went after a brokerage firm that was literally purposefully preventing people from seeing competition when it came to housing options. And in the middle of a housing crisis in Phoenix, Arizona, and across the United States, that is exactly the kind of scheme that we have to fight back against. And that's why I'm here today. That's why we cannot stop fighting and using every tool in our toolbox. We have to stop, stall, and sue until we take back our country for the better. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Rep. Ansari. Stop, stall, sue. Stop, stall, sue. Stop, stall, sue.
Stop, stall, sue.
We've got another representative coming up. Tell us how we're going to fight back. Representative Bill Foster from Illinois.
Let's go,
One
Bill.
question, Representative. Are you willing to withhold your vote until this constitutional crisis is over?
That's the power we have, and we're going to use it.
I respect this man for clearly holding on to this tie for the last 30 years and still wanting to wear it. This is very clearly his power tie. It's meant to project his chakras out into the world and influence people. Look at it. Look at that thing.
Let me tell you, I'm Congressman Bill Foster. I'm Congress's token PhD physicist.
Hey, lovely pariah.
Yeah, well, you can applaud or you can cry. But that's the way it is.
He's a physicist. That explains the physics of that tie, defying all known gravitational conundrums.
But, back in 2008, I was a young member of Congress.
Good night, KG Bagula.
A junior member of Congress. And like every member of Congress who entered then, we were holding workshops for all of the people we represented who had lost their homes because of fraudulent mortgages. Everyone who had been screwed over by businesses, who, on signing contracts they didn't understand. Credit card companies that had an incredible strategy of just fee after fee after fee, restructuring the order of payments to generate fraudulent failures to pay, a long list of things. And so when this happened, we took a bunch of emergency actions to save the economy so that people, at least we could survive. And then every one of us made a pledge that we would establish the rules of the road so that this sort of disaster would never happen again. And that became the Dodd-Frank Wall Street Reform, everyone knows that, and Consumer Protection Act. And that second part is just as important as the Wall Street Reform part. So I'm very proud. I was 10 for 10 in getting my amendments in the Dodd-Frank bill. And it was and Barney Frank made an observation. When members of Congress came to him and said, how the hell did this happen? Why is it okay that people sign these things? He said, well, I tell you what, if you ask who's in charge of consumer protection, it was the Federal Reserve. And Barney's observation is, if you're serious about that, the Federal Reserve is not the right organization. You need people like you who drive to work every day thinking about how to protect people against fraud. And that's what we're fighting for. So, I have to confess, I'm not going to be able to finish this with a great rhythmic cheer. I bring all the charisma of the usual physicist to this job. But I just want to thank every one of you who spent the last decade and more making life better for ordinary Americans. And we're on your side.
Representative Foster, thank you. Thank you. Let us work. Let us work. Let us work. I'm really excited to introduce Latifah Simon, new representative from California. Representative Simon, one question. Are you willing to withhold your vote until this constitutional crisis is over?
Every damn day.
Hell yeah, let's go.
What an amazing opportunity to be here. And you know, we do drown out noise of evil. I wanted to just deliver a message for folks who are just tuning in right now from every cancer center in the United States. The mother who is literally waiting on a new treatment for her daughter. The father who is literally signing his whole life savings so that his son could go through stem cell transplant. See, I have been there. I buried my husband over 10 years ago. He died on Father's Day of 2014, and I told him that night that I would tell our story every living day of my life. You see, when Kevin, who was a young black journalist, when we got married and we had our baby, we deeply believed that everything was in front of us. I, a young organizer, he, a journalist. He got a fellowship at Stanford, and 3 days before he was set to teach, he got a diagnosis that changed us forever. He was diagnosed with T-cell prolymphocytic leukemia, and he was given 3 days to live. We took the baby to grandma's, and I sat in his hospital bed every single day for those 3 days, and Lord, I thank every single doctor and healer who surrounded us. But let me tell you this, 2 years, we got 2 years, we got 2 long years, and my daughter remembers her father's face, but we, like so many folks, like the televisions that are watching us right now, we lost everything. Everything. The last thing we had left was Kevin's car after burying him, and it was impounded. I don't drive, I am legally blind, one of the disabled organizers in this country who will not give up. But when I think about folks like me who have filed for bankruptcy and who gave all that they have, and I think of the work of the CFPB, I have to tell folks, you have a Calvary, so let them work.
Let's go.
So let them work. The CFPB has brought home $21 billion to low-income and working-class families across this country. They have made sure for families like mine that their medical debt didn't hamper them their ability to get student loans or get a cell phone or rent a car. For the folks who are the most downtrodden, the sick and the tired and the weeping and the disabled, this is the Calvary. Let them work. And every damn day, Democrats will stand instead to support the brave men and women, our siblings, our family, who walk into these offices every day, day after day, to protect the most fundamental rights of the American citizen and our neighbors. Let them work.
Let them work. Let them work. Let them work.
I am getting chills. It has nothing to do with the weather. That was incredible. Representative Simon, everybody. We got another representative from Rhode Island, Gabe Amo. Hey, I just have one question. You might have heard this question earlier. Are you willing to withhold your vote until this constitutional crisis is over?
Absolutely.
Let's go.
And let's hear it again for the great people of the CFPB. See, the thing is, Trump and Musk and their billionaire buddies know exactly what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. But there are millions of Americans who are just tuning in. So we have to let them know what we're standing up for. So I have a few questions for you. What's wrong with protecting consumers? Nothing. What's wrong with eliminating junk fees? Nothing. What is wrong with avoiding foreclosures? Nothing. What is wrong with making sure that banks don't take every single penny out of your account when you ain't got nothing in it? Not a damn thing is wrong with the work of the CFPB. In fact, it represents all that is right, protecting Americans.
Also, another kind of maybe unknown part of this is that it's actually really important for Democratic legislators to go out there and let these federal workers know that they're doing a good job. That they're doing what they're supposed to do. That they are, in fact, good. Because one of the things that I've been seeing in all of the reports I've been reading about how federal workers are feeling and like why some of them are taking these buyouts is that a lot of it is related to them being like, oh, I'm not wanted, then I'll go. You know, they're being labeled. There is like a concerted disinformation campaign to demotivate federal workers and to get them to quit. So this is all really, really important. And Forlorn79, thank you for gifting a sub to Tofu Ghost. I appreciate that.
And so I say to Elon, take your hands off. Take your hands off the CFPB because the American people are watching. And we're not just watching. We are getting loud. We are on the streets. We are going to be everywhere, making it heard that we are not going to stand for an America run by billionaires. So I end with this. We are just getting started. And let's stay at it. Let's stay at it in this fight because the American people are depending on us for the future of our democracy. Thank you.
You remember Trump's tiny little hands? You remember that? When I say tiny hands, you say hands up. Tiny hands. Tiny hands. Okay, we're having fun.
You gotta have fun. You gotta have a little fun.
Fun here. We've got Representative Gregory Meeks from New York. I've got one question, Representative Meeks. Are you willing to withhold your vote?
Yes.
Didn't even need that.
Oh, I love his energy. Love his hat. He's owning that shit.
Let me first thank all of the men and women who are working here at CFPB for you and what you stand for and what you do on a regular basis, trying to make sure that the average, everyday American gets a break and gets justice. Thank you for all the hard work that you do. And let there be no question that we are not going to allow the oligarchs that are around the person that is now the President of the United States to control and destroy who we are as American citizens. We are going to stand and we're going to fight, and our voices are going to be heard until we get done what is right, what is just for everyone. Now, I happen to be here in Congress when Maxine Waters and I and others decided that it was important to have a bureau that was focused on one thing, the consumer. We have
right, Billy Zane fan. Like the fact that this is not plastered over Democratic comms is baffling to me. This should be everywhere that the Democrats have ties. Anywhere in the press that they have polled. Like, this stuff should be going. This should be clipped to hell. Honestly, and I mean this very sincerely, if any of you want to clip this up and put it out there on social media and, like, maybe put it in the Discord for us to share around these clips, that would unironically be very helpful to spread on social media. If any of you have the skill set or time to do that.
Agencies and we have bureaus that are focused on everything else. We had nothing for the consumer. And what we had was the greatest financial crisis since the Great Depression, when hundreds of thousands of Americans.
If you put it in the Discord, if somebody is able to do this, to cut up this stuff, if you need a link, I can get it to you guys. And here, I'll post it in chat. I'll do you one better. Post it in every single one of these chats. Okay? If you want to download this, cut it up into like the different speeches, and post those in the Discord, Dragonfly can make sure that every Dem in her state sees these speeches, okay? And shares them around. Can it go up in a place like TikTok? Absolutely. We should be sharing these as far and as wide as we can.
Lost their homes and their livelihood.
I'm not good at it, but I can cut clips together and I'll try my best. Code mode? Your best is more than good enough. Give it a shot. Let's go. Let's make some fucking Tic Tacs.
Went bankrupt with no agency or anything or anyone there to protect them. They were defrauded. Now we happen to know that the person that is now the head of the United States of America happens to have committed fraud and some other things in the past. And so what would you think that that person would do when they come back into office? The first thing they want to do is to try to dismantle those things that would level the playing field for the average and everyday person, because that's what he's trying to do by destroying the CFPB and closing it down for his oligarch friends. But we're not going to let that happen. We're not going to let that happen. I tell you this, and when I listened to Latifah, it reminded me of my story with my dad. You know, I'm here as a member of Congress now because this is the greatest country this planet has ever seen. And it's great because average, everyday people like the people that are right here decided to stand up and say, we're going to make this nation greater than it's ever been by pushing forward and making things happen.
Two dads smooching wouldn't hurt.
I grew up in public housing. My dad had very little money. My family, my mother had very little money. And I can recall as a child them being ripped off time and time again simply because they did not know. They did not know. That was one of the reasons why I determined that I was going to go to law school so that I could help them and give them information. Now, what's important is when you think about the work of the CFPB, the average everyday American who may not have someone who went to law school, who may not know a lawyer, who may not know someone else that can help them, because when you're living in public housing, you have everybody, that a lot of folks are in the same boat. So you need to have some place that you can go to get and seek information so that you won't get ripped off by some greedy person who wanted to take advantage of people. And what you represent is that no longer were people being taken. You saved people's homes and you saved them so they could continue to live the American dream. You are the heroes of the United States of America. You will continue to be the heroes and sheroes to make a difference so that we can make sure that all Americans have the opportunity to get information and not ripped off by the super wealthy, but make sure that we're giving people a hand up and not trying to pull them down. Thank you. Together, we're going to make sure that Musk and Trump don't win. The people, the power belongs to the people. People's power will prevail. Together, tomorrow is going to be better today. Thank you all for being out here. God bless each and every one of you.
Thank you, Representative Meeks. Let us work. Let us work. Let us work. Let us work. I'm about to invite Representative Becca Balint from Vermont up here, but she's going to just answer one question, which is, are you willing to withhold your vote until this constitutional crisis is over?
Hell yes!
See, this is the kind of energy we need to like make it like the culture of Dems in Congress coming to these events and saying, fuck yeah, I'm withholding my vote. I'm showing solidarity with my fellow lawmakers.
So, I'm Becca Ballin. I represent Vermont. I'm standing up here. It's so important for me to be here today to represent rural America. Representing all of those folks back home in Vermont that cannot believe that the one place that they are looking to save money is the one place in government that is protecting all of us from the kind of fraudsters and scammers that are in the White House right now.
Let's go, slurs. Yes, this is the lady who called herself a scrappy.
Now, one of the things I want you to do right now, I know it's cold. I want you to look around at all of the people who are here today. I want you to look around and I want you to see we are all in this together. You are not in this alone. And we are members of Congress and we have some power. But you have the power of your voices. And we say, we have to legislate. We have to litigate. We have to agitate. And you are out here agitating for all of those people who can't be here today. All of those people living at the end of dirt roads in my home state of Vermont. Here's the thing. I need all of us to think about the way that we are thinking about and talking about our fellow Americans. I know that sometimes people will say things like, we're here sticking up for the little guy. There is no little guy. There are just Americans.
Hell yeah.
And everyone deserves a fair shot. Everyone deserves a fair shot. And we don't help people. They help themselves. They just want a fair shot. That's what this whole thing is about. So, I want you to think about the way you're thinking about your fellow Americans. We are with each other. We are with each other. We are standing together so that everyone, regardless of where you live in this country, you know you have a chance. The same chance that every single other person has, regardless of zip code. So, here's what I want to say.
Yeah, Ezra Levin is a real one.
Are you with me?
He's been doing a great job organizing these.
Representative Ballin, thank you. What did we hear? We heard legislate, litigate, agitate. Legislate, litigate, agitate. Legislate, litigate, agitate.
He's real good at this.
Legislate, litigate, agitate. Okay, we've got Seth Magaziner from Rhode Island who's going to answer a question. Are you willing to withhold your vote until this constitutional crisis is over?
Hell yes. All right, hello, everybody.
Honestly, I have to say, like, given the dire nature of the constitutional crisis we are currently in, it's nice to see this positivity, this anger, but it's like almost like a righteously jolly anger. You know, like people are having fun with it, but there's still a lot of anger. It's an interesting combination of emotions playing out throughout this protest, and I'm kind of here for it. The vibe is good.
I'm Seth.
Who's the man in the brown jacket? That is Ezra Levin. He's one of the co-founders of Indivisible, the organization that's been putting on these protests. All of the protests that I've been showing you guys and been like hyping up, they're done through Indivisible. It's the organization earlier I linked in chat that you can actually organize a protest of your own through Indivisible in your local area, or look for other protests in your local area that you can make it to that were made in Indivisible. So I'd highly recommend checking that out. And again, I'm more than willing to rep that here real quick. Copy, paste. There we go. There we go. There we go. In all the chats. All right.
Magaziner from Rhode Island, former state treasurer. And as a former state treasurer, I can tell you firsthand that the grifters and the scammers will never stop trying to get rich off of the back of working people. We have seen that over and over again. We have seen how they will load up working people with overdraft fees and medical debt and subprime mortgages unless there is someone standing in their way. And that is the CFPB. The CFPB is the cop on the block to make sure that the people are looked out for.
The only cop I support on my block.
Now, Donald Trump and Elon Musk don't see it that way. They want a government of, by, and for the billionaires. And no surprise, one of the first things they go after is the CFPB, which has been protecting people from these predatory lenders and scam artists. But we are here today because we know that we have the law on our side, we have the people on our side, and we have righteousness on our side, and we are going to win. So, to all of you here today who have devoted your lives to service and to helping the average person in this country, thank you. Thank you for your patriotism and thank you for your service. We have your back. And to all of the people watching at home who want that cop on the block, who want to make sure that we have a strong CFPB to fight back against the scammers and the grifters, we have your back too, and we are not going to stop fighting. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Let's go.
Thank you, Representative Magaziner.
Also, okay, look, I'm about to say something that might be controversial yet brave. White members of Congress, can you like take some like oratory classes or like, I don't know, a few acting classes or something? Cause like y'all need to like up your game a little bit. You know, like, you guys are elected officials. You should be able to, like, I don't know, project some enthusiasm. You know, like, make people listening to you feel things like they aren't just sitting through a meeting. That's kind of a skill you should cultivate as a politician. Look, I'm just throwing this out here. It just seems kind of like you should do a little better. Okay, because you're being clowned on right now by literally every other speaker. Yeah, need more fire and brimstone energy. Need more, like, just, not even fire and brimstone, just like a little bit of pizzazz, you know?
I've heard that Representative Jamie Raskin is in the House. Is that right?
Oh, I do like Jamie Raskin. He can belt it.
Is there a Jamie? I don't see him yet. We got to say his name a little bit louder. Jamie! 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 I've got one question for you, Representative Raskin. We've been asking this of everybody. Are you willing to withhold your vote until this constitutional crisis is over?
Well, multiple times. Yes, of course.
The floor is yours.
Thank you for what you're doing. Hey, everybody. You know, I realized a rally a day keeps the fascists away.
He's such a dork. You know what really sold that was the delivery. Like even he was like a little bit out of it right there. Like it's am I right?
So we got to keep meeting like this, right? I wanted to start by thanking the incredibly hardworking people at the CFPB.
It is endearing.
I want to thank the people of the CFPB who have saved the American people more than $21 billion from con men and scam artists like Donald Trump. You have saved veterans, armed service members, seniors, working class Americans billions of dollars against the institutions that would rip us off. That's what government is supposed to be doing. If you were saving billions of dollars right now for the plutocrats and the autocrats and the theocrats, the dictators and the bullies and the rip-off artists, they'd be putting you on the board of the Kennedy Center tonight. These people need a basic lesson in the U.S. Constitution. Elon Musk didn't create the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. The representatives of the people in the United States, Congress, created the CFPB.
Hell yeah. Let's go.
And if somebody's going to dismantle it and tear it apart, it would only be the Congress of the United States, but the Congress will never do it because the people of America support the CFPB. The preamble of the Constitution says, we, the people, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, promote tranquility, provide for the common defense, and support the general welfare, and provide to our posterity the blessings of liberty, do hereby and ordain the Constitution of these United States of America.
And this dude's just like being a little scamp. He's being a little silly guy about it.
And then the Constitution in the very next sentence says, all legislative powers shall be vested in the Congress of the United States. That's Article 1. You know, I get mad at some of my colleagues, even some of my best friends, who buy this whole thing about co-equal branches, okay? First of all, the word co-equal is not a word, okay? That's like extremely unique or something like that. They want to say we got 3 equal branches. Really? Well, why is Congress in Article 1? Why are there 18 different sections laying out all the powers of Congress, including Article 1, Section 8, Clause 18, which says all other powers necessary and proper to execute the foregoing powers. And then after all of that, you get to Article 2 about the president, whose core job is what? To take care that the laws are faithfully executed. Okay? Not frustrated, not thwarted, not destroyed. And the founders were so emphatic about that in the 4 short sections in Article 2. One of the sections is all about how you impeach a president, okay, for treason, bribery, and other high crimes and misdemeanors. If we're equal branches, why do we have the power to impeach the president and he doesn't have the power to impeach us? Okay? Why is that? I wish Article 2 gave...
Okay, there's a non-zero chance he took an edible shortly before doing this. There's a non-zero chance. He kind of sounds like he's wandering a little bit.
It's the power to impeach fake presidents too. Because I'd be putting in articles tomorrow morning to impeach Elon Musk, who couldn't run for president because he wasn't born in the United States. And
yeah, it's Jamie Raskin.
He couldn't get a security clearance, and he didn't win an election. He never ran for office, and he's collecting billions of dollars in unconstitutional foreign government emoluments all over the world, and in violation of the Domestic Emoluments Clause, collecting billions of dollars from the American taxpayers at the same time. But my friends, Congress has the law-making power. It's the power of the president only to faithfully execute the laws that we've passed. The president of the United States himself could not destroy the CFPB. So where in the hell does Elon Musk thinks he's got the power to do it, right? So, we got to restore the Constitution. We got to restore the power of Congress. We got to restore the civil service rights of federal workers in America. Because the Pendleton Act said more than a century ago that you can only fire federal workers if they've engaged in professional misconduct or they've had low performance. But all over Washington, D.C. now, whether it's the CFPB or it's the Department of Justice or the FBI, they are firing workers for no reason at all other than they're trying to shut down the government of the United States. But here's the deal. Here's the deal, my friends. I'm bringing you good news because there's another branch of government in Article 3, the courts, okay? And the courts shut Elon Musk down at the Department of Justice and the FBI. And the courts shut them down at USAID on Friday night. And the courts shut them down at the Department of Treasury. And the courts are going to shut them down at the CFPB also. Our framers, the American revolutionaries who built our country and the Constitution, they overthrew the kings and the queens and the monarchs. We're the first modern nation conceived in revolutionary overthrow of people like Donald Trump and Elon Musk and Vladimir Putin.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not mad at that rhetoric entering the mix. I'm not mad at it. I find this particular invocation of this rhetoric very interesting.
And we're going to restore constitutional government in America.
Red coats out, red hats out.
That's our historical assignment, everybody. We are going to bring back the rule of law in America. We're going to bring back the Constitution. We're going to make democracy work again in our country. Hang tough, CFPB. Hang tough, everybody.
Also, not gonna lie, if I remember correctly, Jamie Raskin has had cancer like multiple times over the last 20 years. So like, it would not be surprising if he, like, you know, if he got like into the habit of like doing some medical marijuana. I would not be surprised.
Thank you, Representative Raskin. I feel like I just went to school and also got in a little bit of trouble. When I say good, you say trouble. Good. 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 Okay, we've got one more representative with us tonight. Representative Brad Sherman from California. One question that we've been asking everybody. Can you commit to withholding your vote until this constitutional crisis is over?
Withholding my vote on what?
On anything that MAGA Mike Johnson wants.
Imagine this nightmare. Elon runs for president. SCOTUS approves naturalized citizens to run. Think Soy's out supporting Elon's run because he thinks he would have won president if he had this chance. Boo.
You know that whatever Cenk does at this point, it's going to be the stupidest possible option available to him.
But it is.
He'll have to see what it is. Do we want that? No. Withhold your vote. Withhold your vote.
Withhold your vote. Withhold your vote. Withhold your vote. Withhold your vote. Withhold your vote. Withhold your vote. Withhold your vote. Give him back the microphone. Withhold your vote.
Also, thank you for the $5 dono, Gamer G.
From California's best named city, Sherman Oaks. I'm late because we passed on the floor bipartisan legislation, which I wrote to help veterans in my district and around the country. Now I'm proud.
Bit awkward to be asked to withhold my vote immediately after voting.
To have helped pass and to co-sponsor the bill that created the CFPB, which raises the question, why does Elon Musk and his gang of young marauders want to tear it down? Well, they would like to see unrestricted credit card fees, unrestricted overdraft.
See what I mean? Like, just a little bit more riz would be nice from a lot of our white Democratic men in particular.
But beyond that, imagine all of the schemes he can come up with to fleece consumers around this country if there's no one enforcing the law.
Why are you smiling while you're saying that? Why? That's bad. You're not communicating right.
He's a smart guy. He's a rich guy. He probably has a few ideas. But I've got news for him. First, if he shuts down the agency, all of the agency's regulations are still on the books. And second, most of them have a statute of limitations of over 4 years, and there may be new enforcement, especially when the American people ask, what's in it for us when you take away an agency that has saved us billions and billions of dollars? $21 billion in monetary compensation and principal reductions for over 200 million Americans.
I'm not gonna lie, this guy does seem like he would try and run like through an archway painted on like a brick wall. That being said, I am glad he's here rather than the alternative.
$5 billion in civil penalties, $6.1 billion estimated amount that will save consumers just from the change of on overdraft and NSF and the insufficient fund checks. Whose side is Trump on?
Which side are you on?
And whose side is Elon on?
Which side are you on?
Not only, of course, his own side, but the side that wants unlimited charges on credit cards, unlimited charges on...
Well, to be fair, Nagma-chan, we need all of them. We need all of the members of Congress, not just the not cringy ones. We need all of them, including cringy weirdos. We need all of them. We need all of them on board the riverboat.
Overdraft, unlimited gimmicks on every loan that every family needs, and they're going to need loans because
even the
they're
boring
not going to be
ones,
able to
Mr.
afford
Miyagi.
everything that comes in with the giant tariffs. And finally, or maybe finally, I may go on for a while.
Please no.
We've got this practice that Trump has. He announces that he's going to destroy somebody. Then he gets them to kiss some particularly tasty part of his body.
Just say ass. I'm sorry. I know you're trying to like protect decorum or whatever, but you literally have Republican members of the House like dropping slurs in Congress. Just say ass. Just say dick. Whatever you were gonna say. You could like kiss. They want him to kiss his ass. Just do it. People like that. People like when their elected representatives say swear words. They don't like it when they say slurs, unless they're Republican, I guess. But they do like it when you cuss. And if you're gonna come right up to the cusp of like saying a swear word, at least do it in a fun way. Like have a little zip, have a little zazz.
Then they have to agree to do something they were already doing. Like what Mexico is doing, enforcing its laws against the cartels, where hundreds and hundreds of Mexican law enforcement people have been killed trying to protect this continent from illegal drugs.
Can't be boring
so
in the
they
fall
agree to do what they're already doing, and then he announces victory. because he got what we already had. We saw this with Colombia. We had deported people to Colombia under the Biden administration. They went on planes